Story 1. Posting updates and photos about your children's medical or personal issues. I cannot imagine trying to grow up with a parent like that. Story 2. People who film others' misfortunes to gain attention are concerning. There's a person on YouTube who documents every moment of his father's life with Alzheimer's. It is deeply personal and often embarrassing, and it is all for attention. Not to mention the elderly man is incapable of consenting to this behavior. It's cringeworthy. Additionally, those who film themselves buying lunch for their poorly paid, overworked migrant workers and then act like saints are also seeking attention. Their actions are for show rather than genuine kindness. Chasing attention in general is gross and desperate. Just be a good person if you truly want to help. There is no need to rush to film your actions. Doing so reveals your true intentions. Story 3. People behave arrogantly for attention on the internet and then play the victim when the reaction they receive for their behavior is predictably negative. Story 4. People who film themselves crying from different angles seem strange to me. I don't understand why someone would want to record themselves in that way. Perhaps I am getting older and believe that some emotions should remain private. Story 5. People editing their photos until they look nothing like real life. As a millennial, I remember when I was a teenager, this was considered a loser thing to do. Now it's just normal. Story 6. Are reaction shots still relevant? I cannot stand watching a video of someone's expression while they observe something else. Seeing an elderly person nodding and pointing her finger in the air, or shaking her head while a video plays in the background, has to stop. Story 7. People are normalizing the word trauma and using it for trivial matters. Someone seriously told me they were traumatized because their waiter brought them the wrong food. I understand that trauma is highly subjective, but come on. They were completely serious and genuinely believed that this is what trauma means. Story 8. Removing your buccal fat. Ladies and gentlemen, leave your cheeks alone. You need that fat if you don't want to look like a skeleton when you get older. Story 9. For me, as a millennial, social media use in general has diminishing appeal. I stopped using Facebook and Instagram a few years ago and Twitter last year. Reddit is losing its appeal as well due to excessive bot activity and outrage cultivation. The more niche a community is, the more tolerable it tends to be, but I still feel less and less drawn to it. Yes, there is irony in posting this here. I'm human, and my brain enjoys the dopamine rush, but I genuinely believe I derive less and less value from social media with each passing year. Story 10. It has been mentioned a few times, but replacing bad words with more friendly alternatives is important. I know some platforms have algorithms for this, but I would much rather hear the word suicide than game ended themselves. Story 11. TikTok disorder fakers. I have autism. I cannot understand these individuals and why they seem to desire these disabilities or mental illnesses. It is troubling and I dislike it. Story 12. People who film their workouts constantly. Do you really need to bring your camera and tripod every day to the gym for every workout? It seems a bit self-centered. Story 13. Tween shopping hauls at Sephora for anti-aging skincare. Trendy travel drinking cups that cost more than a tank of gas. Story 14. When people go to social media to ask for a recommendation for something, they often end the phrase with, "and go. I'm looking for a photographer for my son's 3rd birthday this Saturday. I would appreciate recommendations for someone who can do this for under $100. And go." Story 15. The words toxic, gaslight, and narcissist have become slang, which minimizes the seriousness of their actual meanings. Story 16. Naming your child something unique can negatively impact their life because parents often forget that their baby will grow up to be an adult. Story 17. Everything related to aesthetics, including the clean girl aesthetic, mob wife aesthetic, and work aesthetic, among others. Story 18. Using those song clips everyone has heard numerous times before, like the "Oh No" song, I would rather stick my head in an oven than hear it again. Story 19. The whole concept of influencers on social media features pictures and videos of their pristine large houses, well-behaved children, and adorable pets. As if they don't wear comfortable shoes and a messy bun while cleaning up after their pets on perfectly manicured lawns. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to gather my hair into a bun, put on my work shoes, and clean up my backyard. I'm not going to make a video of it, but I guarantee it would be far more entertaining and contain much more colorful language than any influencer video. Story 20. Wasting large amounts of food to create absurd cooking videos, such as giant pizzas or hamburgers and unnecessary all-in-one trays, is maddening. Story 21. Talking about phases, as if they were some cultural phenomenon when it was really just a couple of hundred girls on TikTok doing the same thing around the same time. The phase is from August 2022, and they discuss it as if it were ancient history. Additionally, there is a lack of context. I don't want to watch 8 videos from 5 different creators just to understand this minor reference. If you ask what it's about, you are told. If you don't get it, it's not for you. It feels frustrating to be curious, but not want to spend the next 25 minutes watching videos to understand. Just tell me, X insulted Y, and Y is losing their mind online over it now, or something similar. Story 22. Slang or abbreviations of words can be confusing. I can understand, I don't know, or because, but just yesterday I was texting with my little sister, and I questioned whether I knew my native language. Story 23. I don't understand the lack of talent in public dancing or the pranks on strangers. All filmed for content. Why are these people flailing around as if they are great dancers? Most of them have no rhythm. Why do people think it is funny to bother others who are running errands or spending time with their families? Even that individual who was shot at Tyson's Corner Mall in Virginia claimed he would not stop. Story 24. I am bipolar, diagnosed, and medicated. Whenever it comes up, someone nearby will say, "Me too. I am so moody." Like, do you climb the walls at 3 a.m.? Do you laugh 1 minute and cry the next? Do you stay in bed for weeks? Please, spare me that trendy nonsense. Story 25. About 75% of concert audiences are on their phones, taking videos of the performance or creating TikTok videos of themselves singing along. Nobody seems to be enjoying the experience in front of them. They only care about repackaging a small portion of it for someone else in low resolution. Story 26. Una live or una living is a humorous way of referring to death, but it is being used in serious contexts, which can come across as insensitive. Story 27. In the past, if a child was misbehaving in a grocery store, the manager would chase them out with a broomstick, shouting and waving their fist as they fled down the street. Nowadays, children in stores often misbehave and film it. When the manager arrives, they simply turn the camera toward them, leaving the manager to handle the situation in a calm and civil manner. No physical contact is allowed, so the children usually do not back down and continue to provoke a reaction. It has reached the point where, if there is a high school near your grocery store, you should be prepared to ignore a group of social media dancers and pranksters while you shop, as confrontation only plays into their agenda. Story 28. This is not meant to offend the women who enjoy these things, but the number of people I follow on Instagram who are getting eyelash extensions that touch their eyebrows and receiving multiple vials of lip filler looks painful. They don't look bad, but when you say cringe, I do cringe at how uncomfortable that must be. To each their own. If it makes you confident, that's all that matters. Story 29. Begging on TikTok for money. At least YouTubers create creative videos. TikTok consists of people staring at a camera, waiting for others to give them money. TikTok beggars in the UK are especially obnoxious. Story 30. Constantly using the word literally is cringeworthy to me. The overuse of the word, which has existed for hundreds of years, makes my point clearer. Nowhere in my original comment did I question the existence of the word. Additionally, I never realized there were so many etymologists on Reddit who don't seem to know the meaning of the word constantly. What can you do? Story 31. Politically correct language includes terms like persons living with a disability and persons experiencing houselessness. However, there is nothing wrong with saying disabled people or homeless people. What truly matters is the tone and attitude used in the conversation. Story 32. The entire homesteading and traditional wife trend is quite strange. I am subservient to my husband, I dislike feminism, I only wear cotton dresses. I do not have opinions that my husband does not share. I use beef fat as moisturizer. Here is my $4,000 stove that looks like it is from colonial America. Buy my online sourdough recipe course and learn how to be a traditional wife. And it often employs a guilt-shaming approach toward women who do not want to or cannot do the same. It is mostly cringeworthy because women act as if this is how they have lived their entire lives, but it is clearly just following a trend. Women who have genuinely lived this way are not posting about it all over the internet. I cook for my boyfriend, I do his laundry, I want children, I am Catholic, I bake bread. It is not abnormal for women to want to follow a traditional lifestyle, but the strange anti-feminism, privileged aesthetic that accompanies it is simply cringeworthy. Feminism is the reason I have the choice to do or not do these things. Feminism is the reason you can post about it online. You can be a traditional wife, but do not degrade your entire gender in the process. Story 33. I can't stand TikTok accounts that create poor quality food just to provoke reactions. Right behind them are the food reaction videos based on these subpar creations. Last night, I left a couple of bites of my undercooked steak uneaten and felt bad about wasting it. I couldn't imagine throwing an entire family-sized chicken breast covered with enchilada sauce and maple syrup into the crock pot for no one to eat, just to gain likes on TikTok. Story 34. I don't know if it's necessarily in, but when people say they let their intrusive thoughts win and they cut bangs or do something similar, I just think it's great that they've never had a true intrusive thought beyond changing their hair. Please don't label something as an intrusive thought when it's not. Story 35. Videos show people lifting weights while zooming in on the reactions of others in the gym, often with slow-motion close-ups of their faces. Typically, the lifter is an attractive woman, and the onlookers are men. The implicit message is that these men are staring because the woman is stronger than them. Many of these videos are staged, while others feature individuals who film their workouts. Occasionally, someone may genuinely look on with curiosity or admiration when the weight being lifted is impressive, but that doesn't mean they are part of the fabricated narrative in someone's mind. Some of these individuals may even be labeled as creeps simply for looking. Can we please just use the gym for training? Not everyone wants to be featured on social media for accidentally glancing in your direction. Story 36. YouTubers holding their microphones close to their mouths. Why do they do this? It looked silly when they started it, it looks silly today, and it will look silly if they continue doing it in the future. Story 37. What women do to their faces with fake eyelashes. Lip enhancements, surgery, and fillers can be excessive. When they add wigs and high heels, they resemble mannequins. Wearing a skin-tight, ultra-short dress further exaggerates this appearance, making them look like a caricature. Story 38. Throughout history, fad medical issues have been common. Some king of England had an anal fistula, and suddenly all the lords and ladies had one too. Today's modern version of this is the spectrum and neurodivergence. Don't like how something feels unpleasant on your hands? You might be on the spectrum. Do you sometimes get confused or distracted? You might be on the spectrum. Do you not always enjoy everyone's company? It's neurodivergence for sure. Now everyone can pretend to be special and self-diagnose or act knowledgeable and tell others what condition they have. This leaves the actual individuals with neurodivergence still ignored without proper support because someone has a temporary case of attention difficulties. Story 39. Posting constant pictures and videos of your children can be overwhelming. I have a friend who frequently videotapes her kids and shares it online. The children enjoy hamming it up for the camera, but I find it excessive. Honestly, they may not be as adorable as she believes. Story 40. Whatever it's called when someone posts their reaction to a good video like a duet or something, it can be frustrating. If you aren't adding anything to the content, please refrain from posting. There's a video of a man teaching how to make the crunchiest fried chicken, and his near-orgasmic reaction is entertaining. That was funny. Be creative and add your own touch. Generic reactions without substance are not needed. Story 41. Omitting the word vibes. Instead of saying, "It gives Peter Murphy vibes," say, "It gives Peter Murphy." Also, avoid saying, "not," insert whatever it is I'm observing. Not me making breakfast for my grandmother again. Not me drunk at 8:30 a.m. again. Not me complaining about new trends in slang and language. Not me wasting my life entirely. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.